Nasty.
It's Payday A.J. and Nasty Nate coming at you from the Bull City, Durham, North Carolina.
That's right. All right, man. It is cold out here.
It's cold in North Carolina.
Cold out here. Welcome to the deepest, darkest secrets on the internet. You have scrolled your way all the way to the Payday Nasty Podcast. But hey, I think we got a little bit of something going on. It might entertain you. But man, we out here in Durham, North Carolina. Man, what was it? Last night, I said it was like 17. Feels like 2. The wind was blowing. It's cold world. It's that time of year, man. We
cold world.
Deal with the heat all year round. All of a sudden, it's cold for real. Mm-hmm. It always makes me think about, when we were growing up in Mississippi, you remember a restaurant we used to work at, Lilo's Restaurant,
right?
Down in Leland, Mississippi. And I remember these two old dudes one time talking. They used to sit in front of the TV in the corner. And one of them was, you remember, Miss Santucci and the other dude. Mm-hmm. And Miss Santucci was like, oh, this one year was so cold, the squirrels froze in the trees. And the other dude was immediately like, ain't no squirrel ever froze in a tree, you crazy. And man, Miss Santucci got hot. Don't call me crazy. He stood up, man, reared back on do that finna fight. They be sitting at the same table.
About the squirrels.
About the squirrels freezing. But I always think about it, I'm like, man, it would have to be cold as hell for a squirrel to freeze in the tree. Can you imagine going outside and a bunch of dead frozen... Like, nah, man, wasn't that cold. No. Now, hey, it might surprise y'all. It gets cold in Mississippi. It is humid. You know what I'm saying? That humidity will get into you. It's a whole different beast.
It is.
I knew folks who used to talk about going up and down the Mississippi River on them tugboats.
Yep.
And they would talk about going up to Minnesota, up by there, and it's cold. Like the temperature's cold. They said, but it was bearable. And they said, you get down around Mississippi, you get down the deep south, and that wind hits. They said, man, it'll kill you. And I was like, I can believe it. I can believe it. It does get cold in Mississippi. It gets cold in North Carolina.
The humidity cuts.
And humidity gets in your skin.
Either way.
Then it gets cold and it gets you.
Yeah.
So anyway, you hit me up. It's Monday. We normally do the show on a Wednesday. So I feel like I don't have as much of an agenda as we would have had by Wednesday. Surely some major global news would happen in the next couple of days.
I'm sure.
So you hit me up. I had just showered. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I ain't even gonna brush my hair. I'm trying to woo my wife. I was trying to go with my sexy look. And I was like, this is a signal to let her know, like, oh, I'm down tonight.
All right.
And then you hit me up and I was like, well, I'm doing a show. I was like, I ain't finna shower again. I ain't fixing to go fix my hair up. So it is what it is. Y'all gotta take the sexy look tonight. But anyway, let's jump into it. I do have some quick hitters here for what tends to be my favorite section. Fools on Parade.
Fools on Parade.
And so, first off, I don't know if you saw this, but John Cena in the WWE had his last match 2 nights ago.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Had his last match against Gunther. And, I'm not a big wrestling fan. My son watches the stuff. I watched it when I was a kid, so I know enough. I respect it. It's entertainment.
The same way. Maybe we're a tick less.
But what matters to me here is that John Cena lost his last match. He tapped out on his last match.
Nah, this has been hotly debated. Now, so the way I understand it, like The Rock lost his last match. Ric Flair lost his last match.
Undertaker did not.
Yeah.
So there's some. They say that there's an idea
they're
of passing on the torch.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is Cena's torch has already been passed. He's part of a different generation anyway. This was just a farewell tour, and it's like, so why you gotta do him like that?
Well, to have him tap out when his slogan is "Never tap out."
Well, and not only that, it's sort of like, I can see where someone thought they were cute, like, oh, it's symbolic. You know what I'm saying? Because he's tapping out. He's ending it. He's not doing it anymore. And he smiled. Like, he looked at the camera. If you watch the video, when he's got him in the headlight, he looks at the camera and he smiles and then he taps out. So it was, it was a nod to the whole thing. And Cena always talks about how he's not in the writer's room. He does not make decisions about what happens with his matches. He's always like, no, it's higher up in the organization. Whatever. I just got to say, though, but Triple H, who's in charge of the organization, makes a final decision, final call, and all this stuff, he's a fool. He's a fool, man.
They booed him. They booed him afterwards when he came out.
Of course they did. And he was like, oh, I thought it would be worse. Man, go to hell, dude. Cena should have won his last match, man. Cena is a hero to so many little people, so many young people like my son with Down syndrome, all the people, that he's affected through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. You got to give that dude the W on the end, man. You can't take him out like that. He's a fool. He's a fool. That's my first fool is Triple H.
Okay.
And big ups to John Cena. John Cena was on Rogan recently. It was a really good interview, man. It's well worth checking out.
Yeah, I saw that he was on Rogan.
He is a thoughtful dude. It was really interesting. I would love to have a chance just to talk to John Cena.
When I heard, I think it was on that Rogan interview, and I just saw a snippet of it, but where he had done a rap album and had like 70 songs in the vault.
Oh, see, hold on to that, man. That's gold. That's gold.
When I heard that he had done a rap album, like of everything else that he does, and he had done it, I was like, oh, it's a thoughtful individual.
And
right
the dude speaks roughly Mandarin.
Yeah.
Like he's put some stuff, These dudes ain't just, most of these dudes are not just what you see on the screen. They're real people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I've always found Cena to be a pretty interesting dude, and what he does for kids and stuff is just outstanding. It's great to see people do that kind of stuff. So my next fool, I don't even know if I say his name right. Sharon Moore, the coach from Michigan.
You said his name right.
You saw all this stuff this week.
I did.
I mean, all of a sudden it comes across the news. Michigan fired him and he's getting arrested.
Yeah.
You're like, what happened? And you saw what happened.
An OnlyFans?
No, he was having an affair with a staff member. Like a young, and I just gotta say, because it came out the way a lot of people talk about it, is a young white girl. They try to bring this fact up, He's married to a white woman. Now he's cheating on her with the white girl, and so a lot of folks like in the black community on Black Reddit and stuff like that are like, that's what you get messing around with the white girls. And then other people are like, well, what does that mean anyway? And, that complicates it. But this dude was having an affair with a staff member. And then I guess she decided they had to break up or whatever. She snitched. She went to administration, was like, yeah, this is happening. I don't know what led to that. Then he knows he's fixing to lose his job. He breaks up in her apartment, busts up in there, screaming about how, you ruined my life. And then goes and grabs like some butter knives, threatening to kill himself in her apartment. Then runs out of the apartment with the butter knives.
I did not hear all this.
Oh, it's fucking crazy, man.
I did not hear all this.
So the police grab him up for busting up in her apartment and all this other stuff because that's just way too much.
Yeah.
Obviously, they fire him. And this dude, how much money? He was making more than, he had a deal that was in the double-digit millions. I mean, you're the head coach for the University of Michigan.
That's a big deal.
And this is how it goes down, man. What the hell, man? You see these folks just drop the bag.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, when they're giving it to you like that, because my first thought when I saw it go down is like, I always think about this. These coaches in these smaller towns, in these towns, these college towns, stuff like that. I'm like, man, you really need to watch your back because there's a lot of boosters. And that sets you up. I believe they will. Right. I believe a lot of these dudes have been set up. But then when I read all this, I was like, nah, he set himself up, man. He's a fool. He's a fool. Look how much money you fixing to lose, dude. This dude gonna be selling cars next year.
Definitely some bad decision making going on.
Oh man, that's just.
The reason I said OnlyFans is because I heard the girl he was having an affair with had an OnlyFans page, and that's how they were met or something.
No.
Okay.
He communicates with people on OnlyFans. He's all on Instagram, following all these hot women, and
man, that's just a bad look. All of that is.
Oh yeah, it's just all out in the public too. Yeah. And then was even posting online where he was going to Kentucky Derby a couple years ago, and then was going to go to the Diddy after party. Ooh. So I mean, he's up on it. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just kind of openly like, I'm living that life. And it's like, man, you can't. You're a fool.
Yeah,
you're a fool. That's all it is to it. Speaking of fools, though, I saw where the state of South Carolina is advancing a bill, and they're not the first ones to do this. Florida, of course, did it because Florida's crazy too. Advancing a bill to ban chemtrails. Like when the plane flies, like you can't do it. Or at least the bill says, well, if you're doing it, it can't include all the stuff that we conspiracy theorize is controlling the weather or affecting our lives or doing whatever the heck it's doing. Man, y'all stupid, man.
So everybody's like, okay.
Y'all are, yeah, like chemtrails are possibly going to be banned in South Carolina. Man, y'all are, what are you up on, man? Like, how do you live your life? You're electing people who are like, I'm going to stop this chemtrail. Like, it's not.
I'm going to keep people from controlling the weather.
It's long been established that this is just a byproduct of jet engines. That's how it creates pressure. Forgive me for. I'm not going to
explain it now.
I'm not going to indulge these fools. You're fools, South Carolina. That's why I live in North Carolina. At least we got that going for. We got our own problems, but no, it's not South Carolina. No.
Maybe chemtrails is a big deal somewhere in North Carolina.
Maybe. I'm sure there are North Carolinians who care, and they probably live along the South Carolina border because it's infectious, man. They'll get you with all that stupidity. These fools only took down the rebel flag like not that long ago, so you got to keep in mind they're not a sophisticated bunch.
Yeah, right.
They don't seem to take pride in their intelligence. Right. You know what I'm saying? They do their own research, which means they don't trust researchers. But whatever, So comedian and actress Amy Schumer got up on that GLP-3 train, I don't know if you've seen this, but she lost
a lot of weight. Yeah.
Lost some weight. You're looking a little different. So, of course, first thing you got to do is come out and announce you're getting divorced too. And then post on the internet and be like, well, it's not because I'm losing weight. Yes, it is, bitch. We're not stupid. You trying to get that D. You know what I'm saying? You looked up and said, I can upgrade. We know exactly what you did. You ain't fooling none of us.
You're saying it happens all the time?
Yeah, yes, you're a fool. You're a fool. Like you was lucky to have what you had. Now you're like, I could do better. Like for a minute, maybe.
Men and women. It happens on both sides.
Oh, it happens on both sides. Dude go and hit the gym and he's like, oh, what I settled for. But we ain't crazy. We know what you did. We all see it. We're not fools. You the damn fool. We know exactly what's happening. But now, this fool of the year, fool of the decade, fool of the last 20 years, Sean Combs.
Oh, yeah.
Puffy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever the hell, all these stupid, none of these names are good.
Yeah.
And I watched the entire documentary, all 4 episodes.
I started it.
No, I burned.
You texted me, I started
bro,
it. Bro,
I burned through it. And this fool, oh my goodness. But really, he ain't even the fool I'm talking about. The feds are the fools. The jury, anybody who supports this man is a fool. He is a monster. Like, you watch that thing, and even some of it where you're like, well, that part isn't 100% true. That part, man, it's too much, man. Everybody who ever interacted with this dude's like, no, this went bad. This went bad. He is a monster.
Man, so I saw snippets of it, or read snippets of it before I started watching it. I haven't made it that far into the documentary, but they said that he could be responsible for Tupac and Biggie's death.
Well, and they, yes, very much so. He has culpability, at least, in both of them. And it's very clear. Yeah. But forget that. Every person who ever worked closely with him has been assaulted in some way, right, and has had bad things happen or been kidnapped. I mean, he has just done everything he does is horrible. And then, and I think back, and it's just like I always talk about with Kanye. From the very first time I ever saw him, I was like, no, that dude ain't cool. I don't like that dude. I mean, I grew up in a predominantly black area. So it's not like I'm just somehow or another enamored by, oh, look, it's a famous black person. I just want to attach to him. No, I know a sellout, lying ass bitch when I see him. And Puffy is the epitome, man. He is a horrible person on top of all that. He's not just fake. He is horrible, dude. You have to watch the whole thing. Anybody out there, it is worth watching because there's so much stuff in there with firsthand people saying, this happened to me.
It all happened 30 years ago, whatever, but they say that Biggie was on his way out of being associated with Puffy.
He was trying to get his own thing going, but they had just signed a contract that they actually paid Biggie pretty well for the album he was fixing to have coming out, the one that ends up being called Life After Death. That wasn't the title of it at the time because he, it wasn't like that. Right. But other people, all the other artists who ever worked with him, he screwed them over. They didn't make no money. He took all their money, and then he's a monster. He's a monster. And anyone out there who's like, no, man, they messing with Puffy. No, you a fool.
Like wearing the free Puffy t-shirts.
Man, you a fool. You wouldn't want to be associated with Puffy because all them people who did want to be associated so that they can make money or get famous or do this, it did not work for any of them. All of them have horrible stories to tell where you're like, damn, man, that sucks. Y'all some fools. And Puffy, he's a fool too, but he's different. He's a whole different beast. Like, you should be able to see through it. Like, you should see somebody, I don't know, I've never understood that. Like, I have a bit of a radar where I can be like, that person's not cool. And I've said it ever since the beginning. And yet, folks still wanted to go for it. Speaking of fools, our favorite fool on the show, Joy Reid. She was out there amplifying a post that someone else made about how the song Jingle Bells is racist.
Oh, man.
It's like, man, we coming up on Christmas, man. Why you got to mess with everything? And the person posting it was referencing one researcher from like 2017 who posited that it could be connected to all these other things. So you got one person ever who said, I think it came from this. Then you have an influencer online who's like, oh, here's the hidden history of America. Even Jingle Bells is racist. Okay, so clearly you're fixing to make everything out to be racist. Now here comes Joy Reid being like, oh yeah, Jingle Bells is racist. I hate to tell y'all, slave owners founded the United States, okay? I don't give a damn anymore. It doesn't matter. You still live here. You're not going to go anywhere. What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go back on that. Like, do you realize everybody driving half the damn cars came from Nazis, okay? We still drive them. Rocket science came from freaking Nazis. Do you not want to go to the moon? Is going to the moon racist? What is the point? There is no point to this except for to not let anything go. Like, it's all racist. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If you just go backwards.
What are we going to do about it?
Well, yeah. So what do you want to do?
What's the next step?
Like, you got to let go at some point. How's this? It's like, if that's the only way you can stay relevant, then you really need to find another job.
So it's really a message about positivity. We need to be positive and not negative now. Like we define the negative. Yeah. The negative has been called out. We get it.
And if the entire African-American, not entire, but if a great deal of the African-American community can look up and say, hey, we took this thing like the N-word, turned it around and turned it into our own thing. Okay. Then you know what I'm saying? Then why don't we take all this stuff and say, yeah, we turned it around. Time came, time happened, time passed, and now we're doing something different. We don't have to sit and dig and be like, well, that has racist roots. That has racist roots.
And it's holding us down still.
Yeah, and that's the problem. When you hear jingle bells, you gotta be like, there comes another one of them racist songs. I mean, come on, man. Like, just saying.
It's your girl.
I do appreciate her because she gives me content. And you know what I'm saying? I got to acknowledge that. I need that content, and she just keeps bringing the stupidity. She's a fool. She's a fool. She is a permanent fool. Yeah. I can basically just look up every week and be like, did Joy Reid say something this week? Because that's going to go on the show.
That's highlighted.
That's going to go on the show. So I'm late to the game on this, but I was reading where director Steven Soderbergh had pitched to Disney that he wanted to do a movie called The Hunt for Kylo Ren. And it would be where basically after episode 9, Kylo Ren goes on a journey to redeem himself and do all this other stuff. And it included all this worlds between, otherworldly type stuff, between his life and death or whatever. And of course, Kathleen Kennedy from Disney, and the head of LucasArts was like, yes,
okay,
we totally need to make this movie. I'm so excited about it. And of course, there were actually reasonable people at Disney like Bob Iger and the other executives who said, but Kylo Ren's dead. Like, you can't, it's bad enough you made those movies and they were horrible. Now you want to come behind it and make a whole movie about a dude you just killed. And so they said, no, we're not going to do that. I was like, thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing?
Between worlds, though.
Yeah, in the cartoons and stuff, there's a world between worlds. It's just like in the show where they show Anakin talking to Ahsoka. That's some forced gobbledygook, as Lucas would have called it. Like, you're getting too deep. But I mean, of course, Kathleen Kennedy was like, I want to make this movie. It's like, so you just keep on the worst stuff you could do. Like, if you don't kill people for real, then what was the point of any of those movies? I don't know. She has basically single-handedly destroyed Star Wars in many ways. And so I'm glad she's leaving, and I'm glad other people at Disney said, no, we're not going to make this movie. When you got to rely on Disney to be reasonable. I mean, Disney wants the money, and Disney's like, we ain't going to take that money. We're not going to do that. That's when you're just messing up.
Man.
Imagine George Lucas in the room, and they're pitching this idea. Let's bring back another dead character. And George Lucas be like, what are y'all doing? You know what I mean? Like, why? I'm glad I took the money and ran.
Yeah, you have to. It makes you look back at all the Star Wars since Disney took over and think about every one of the movies that they made and really reevaluate what was the right decision to make there.
None of the decisions they made were right. They were all bad, and so whatever.
The one I did enjoy was the Han Solo, and that was the one that caught the most flack.
I know. Then they're like, it wasn't good enough. It was a straightforward story, and it contributed to everything else. It was perfectly fine by me.
Yeah.
Well written, well acted, perfectly fine. But whatever, can't do that. Moving on. Now.
I hate you.
Uh-oh. My stuff didn't move fast enough. It wasn't ready, but that's all right. So the politics section, and the bad thing about this is it shouldn't be political. Nothing about this should be political, but let me lay it out for you. Last night, we got the news that the police were called to the home of Hollywood director Rob Reiner and found a deceased 78-year-old man, 68-year-old woman. And I kept reading this in an article, and finally I was like, well, I need to look this up. Was Rob Reiner 78? Mm-hmm. Turns out, yes. And so it turns out that it was he and his wife had been murdered. And I gotta say, the Princess Bride, which he directed, is one of my favorite movies ever made. Every one of my children, as they come up, I'm like, you gotta watch Princess Bride.
So it took this moment for me to understand exactly who Rob Reiner was.
Mm-hmm.
And man, what a titan of filming.
Oh yeah. He's huge, man. This is Spinal Tap.
What an artist.
All those things. Yeah, he's great. Yeah. He's great.
He doesn't have the look of an artist. He's kind of soft around the edges and everything. But man, not like you think artists in film, you think like
Tarantino,
yeah. A bunch of them, Soderbergh, David Fincher, David Lynch, these guys, these artsy guys. But man, Rob Reiner,
he did some good stuff.
So he had a 5-year or a 5-film stretch. I'm gonna say it back at you. You probably read it in the article too, but it starts with Stand By Me.
Oh yeah, he did do Stand By Me. That's right. Huge.
Princess Bride.
Mm-hmm.
When Harry Met Sally.
Oh yeah, When Harry Met Sally is really big.
Misery.
Oh yeah.
And
Stephen
A Few
King
Good
movie.
Men.
Yeah.
Those 5.
That's a heck of a run, right?
That's a heck of a run, man. And when I read that, I was like, man.
Damn shame. Him and his wife found murdered. Turns out that their son is the lead suspect, which is was apparently pretty obvious because he had a drug addiction issue for a very long time. Everyone knew this. They had even written a story together about his drug addiction. So
a movie about it.
Yeah. So it seems to come along pretty quickly that you would say, okay, this is the number one suspect. And it seems like that's what happened, which is even, it's tragic enough to have murder, but then to have someone's son murder them in their home and their daughter found them,
Tragic.
Passed away. I mean, just a horrible story. So of course, when something horrible like this happens, you have people speak out on it. And so, for instance, the president of the United States, what's his name? Donald J. Trump.
What did he say?
So he went out on his own media platform that he owns, True Social, and posted. Here's what he said. He said, a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. He's correct. He's 100% correct at this point. We're rolling.
So far.
Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Now, I have a really low bar for everything that Donald Trump does. And that's why I tend not to harp on it too much. But this is one of the coldest, worst, nastiest, inhumane things that I think anyone, especially someone with a voice and an opportunity to edit that or to have, to say it. It's like, I hate this dude so much. You know what I mean? I really hate Donald Trump. Yeah. And I hope that the day he dies, I'm still podcasting. That's why I told myself, I was like, I will not stop podcasting before Donald Trump dies because I'm a clown this bitch. I mean, you can't help but to be like, ooh, and I don't do that. I would tell anyone, you don't hate. Don't speak ill of the dead. No, it's not the way to act. It's tacky.
That's right.
But this bastard right here, I'm gonna have some fun with him. I'm plotting on songs. I want to just, you know what I'm saying? Just lean in on it and have fun with it and be like, man, I will dance on your grave. He is such a horrible person.
I mean, peevish, small,
man.
Like, the adjectives, you run out.
And that's what I mean. That's why I do my best. If there was anyone who is a liberal, who is lenient, towards Donald Trump, it's me. I'm always like, look, we know that's who he is. It's not worth getting into. But how could he? I mean, what? This is what you do when you find out that two people were murdered by their son. And it really isn't even about them. It just turns into about him.
Yeah.
And about some golden age in America.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Like, none of it's real. I don't know what you're talking about. I do not know what you're talking about.
This is the same person that tells me America's like hell because we're surrounded by all these murderous immigrants and there's drugs everywhere. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like he makes it, all these liberal cities are burning and Antifa's getting us or Muslims are getting us.
The 4 years Biden was president, America was like
the worst place on earth. It was a hellhole. But
I lived here.
And now we're coming up on a golden age that we have to bring up.
And it seems basically the same.
That we have to bring up against the death of this man who had a great life and contributed to society.
And the only thing he did was he was a Democrat.
Yeah. And didn't like Trump.
And campaigned against Trump.
Only thing he did was he was a better human being than Trump could ever even strive to be or wants to be because he doesn't care.
I mean, it's apples and oranges. Like you couldn't even call the two human beings.
No, they're not even the same species, man. But you know what I mean, though? That's what really hit me when I read it. I was like, God, I hate this dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know I try not to on the show. I try to be lenient and just say, look, this is what we're dealing with. How do we fix that? How do we address it? How do we move on? How do we come up with better options? And then he does stuff like this where I'm like, oh my God, dude, I see why people get stuck on hating on you.
Yeah.
Because dear God, you're so hateable.
And how come we haven't been able to move past him?
No. I told my daughter about it and she was like, yeah, I saw the news about the director and because she likes Princess Bride. She didn't really, know much about him. And I was like, well, Trump released a statement and she was like, what did he say? And then I read that to her and she just stared at me and I was like, yeah, it's a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and this is the president of the United States?
I'm like, this is what you're growing up with as a teenager. You see the worst example ever of how a president of the United States could or should act. There it is right there. This is exactly, I mean, like
a person, not even the president, a person.
Shouldn't even act that way. And it's like I said, I set the bar low, and it's like Trump takes that as a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, he has to limbo under the lowest bar possible to be the worst human being he can be. It just freaking, like I really,
it's pretty incredible.
It is.
It's pretty incredible.
It is. And I think that's the part I try to focus on is more of the amazement.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe this dude's so terrible.
I can't believe this guy exists.
He's a horrible human being.
Yeah. The worst.
And no one around him like went in the room. Like I saw that, you know, message on Truth Social and said, hey, stop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just stop.
Yeah.
Try to be something other
like
than
a decent human being.
Like if you took what you are and said, whatever your first thought is,
George Costanza, that's right.
Don't do that.
That's right.
And you would be a better human being every time.
Whatever your impulse is, do the opposite.
Do the opposite and you'll be a better human being.
That's it.
So the other big thing in the news, which again does get political. See, that shouldn't have been political. That was just a tragedy in news, but then ends up being political because Donald Trump makes everything political and he's horrible. In Australia, this Bondi Beach shooting of Jewish people who were celebrating the first day of Hanukkah. Yeah. I mean, this is
terrible.
This is rough. A father and son. The father was originally either from Pakistan or India. The son was born in Australia, but they, I don't know, for whatever reason, decided to go out and start shooting Jewish people. I mean, a lot of the politicians in Australia are blaming it on pro-Gaza type stuff. I'm sure that's heated things up.
It doesn't matter. It's like you say all the time, and it doesn't matter. There's no rationalizing. Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's no reason.
Exactly.
There's no reason.
And you know, even coming out of the, you know, I think like 15 people so far have died, 40 were injured. I mean, it was pretty horrible.
Terrific.
But there was that video of a man in Australia who took, you know, kind of tackled and took away the weapon from the son, and that was
saved lives.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you haven't seen the video, watch it. Absolutely cool to see someone in that scenario do that. You know, because you always think about these people who are like, you know, if this is happening, I'm gonna do this. You know, and I always say probably not that. You know, it's not available to you, but it was available to this man of Syrian descent, another Muslim, who went and took the weapon from the man. Yeah, a hero,
like a real hero,
a hero. And not that his religion should matter, except for the fact that we've already in a situation where we're talking about Muslims attacking Jews in Australia. Yeah. But then the hero who comes along here is a Muslim man, along with the police. They're heroes too. Right. They all did their jobs. Right. And the father was killed. The son has been wounded and is in the hospital. Not, you know. Whatever.
But I like your angle on it. Really, you take all those words out of it, and you said two people that were doing bad things,
and another person who tried to stop them, and that's heroic.
A good thing.
It's heroic and brave and amazing.
And that's all you need to say, really.
And so, of course, though, immediately everyone just wants to talk about guns and violence and mass shootings. And now this was the biggest mass shooting since 1996 in Australia. They have pretty strict gun laws, and so the people who don't like gun laws are like, well, they have strict gun laws and this happened. But I mean, you know, when they only happen once in a while, that doesn't necessarily feed into
I don't think you're proving your point.
You're not proving your point very well there. But at the same time, I'm just not sure any of this is related, because it's like I keep saying, when we have shootings in America, and it's oftentimes where it's like, well, this person owned the guns legally, or the guns were like this, or the guns were like that. And everybody's like, well, we need stricter gun laws, but they never say which gun law would have stopped that event. You know, because I'm with you. I mean, we need to do background checks. We need, you know, we need to continue to not allow fully automatic weapons, and we shouldn't allow people to own rocket launchers or tanks. You know, I mean, yeah, we definitely need all these restrictions, but it's never clear to me what restriction you're talking about that's going to change these events. These are people, and if people want to hurt people, you know, just like what was I can't remember where it was. Oh, it was in Boulder, Colorado, where the guy made homemade flamethrowers, and attacked Jewish people. You know, gun laws didn't you know what I'm saying? It didn't stop it, but he did go to try to buy a gun and he couldn't because he wasn't a citizen. So but whatever. I don't want to get into the weeds here. Right. The point is, when people want to hurt people, they're the problem. Yeah. I mean, they really are. And I don't want to sound like
what? Like murder is against the law.
Yeah, and yet people do it. And so you can
fully restrict it.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things, but people still do it. And so I'm not, you know, I want to sound like a gun advocate who's just against trying to pass gun laws. We do need gun laws, but at the same time, I'm not going to buy into it, you know, just all hook, line, and sinker, like, oh, if we just pass some gun laws, these things are going to stop. No, they're not. No, they're not. That's not going to do it. This is a cultural problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's a political problem, a cultural problem. You ain't being raised right, man. Folks' parents ain't acting right. Folks' friends ain't acting right. Everybody around everybody needs to stop feeding into this junk, man. When people start being like, oh, I feel this, I'm so mad. Man, you got to look at the person who's talking like that and be like, chill out.
Yeah.
Like we all need to stop and just, I mean, you need to chill. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're advocating for violence or you're getting too angry, somebody around you has to say, you're the freaking problem. You know, but when everybody's angry, it's like there's not enough adults in the room. You know, there's not enough mature people to stop and say, no, what you're doing leads to violence. It's not, the gun didn't lead to violence.
And it's not going to solve anything.
No, it's not going to solve anything.
Whatever you think it's going to solve, however it's going to make you feel, it's not going to solve anything.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing is, you mean to tell me that you think Australia is full of would-be mass shooters? But those pesky laws, you know, is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Is that they're still out there? They're all mass shooters. They just can't. I mean, and that's why it's not happening. No, it's a cultural thing. Australia is just apparently not as volatile, you know, and then look what does affect them when it happens. Global politics, something that really ain't even got nothing to do with them. So folks need to think about that, you know. That's why I keep saying, look, that Israel and Gaza stuff ain't got nothing to do with us. You know what I'm saying? Chill out. Right. Have an opinion. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? Be realistic about it. You're going to get up tomorrow. You're going to go to work. You're going to take kids to school. You're going to do stuff. You don't, you know, there's only so much you can do. I got to do something about it. I got to stop this.
But yeah, the connectivity may be just too much. Like,
get off the internet. Chill out.
Yeah, get off the internet and chill out.
Stop acting like it's happening in your backyard when it ain't. It ain't. There actually are things happening in your backyard that maybe you should like pay attention to.
Yeah, just pay it. Start with those.
Vote in your local elections.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And care about
and get into it.
Get into it. But don't worry about what's happening on the other side of the planet to where you so mad. You know what I'm saying? That you either want to kill someone or you want to root for someone who kills someone. That's ridiculous.
Develop theories about how evil they are and why.
And go on and on and on about it. Like you got so many feelings. And
doing
like,
your research.
Yeah.
We get it.
Doing your own research when there are actually people out there. I don't know. But you know, it sells. You know, that's the thing that gets me is it sells. And right. I think that's what gets people.
Was listening to the radio today and came across the topic about the OpenAI and their new video editor.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
Sora.
And the anti-Sora expert, it was a professor somewhere, but was basically saying like what this is going to lead to, it's just going to exacerbate, is that we already don't live in a shared reality. And these videos are going to have the impact of
creating a random reality that's not real.
Because you'll be able to come at it from either way. If it's a video that is real, but you don't like it, you'll say it's not real. If it's a video that's not real, but you like it, you'll say it is. And so there will be no shared reality. And if we can't agree that 2 + 2 = 4 anymore.
Well, but isn't it kind of already that way?
It'll just make it more.
It makes it worse, but it is kind of already that way. Everybody just picks and chooses. I see that. That's the way I see it. And all I'm asking for,
and imagine it being worse, right?
All I'm asking for is civility. Immaturity, you know, take a step back and just be like, I'm not going to indulge that.
It's a common theme on this show. Be polite.
Be polite. Be a regular, you know, and
Donald Trump.
Pretend that you represent somebody. I mean, even if it's not just you, your parents, your grandparents, or your kid, surely you represent something bigger than you that makes you say, I want to be better. Yeah. I want to stand up for things. Now, I don't want to look like a moron like Donald Trump does.
Well, and just speaking of Donald Trump, speaking to that point, like, I wonder what Fred would think to watch Donald Trump now.
Oh, man.
Fred Trump.
There's no way he could have been as horrible of a human being. He would have to be I'm embarrassed of you.
Absolutely.
He would have to, right?
You would think.
I don't know a lot about him, but surely you can't have 2 in a row in your family. It skips generations. I mean, usually, right?
I mean, you would, as an adult watching, I'm an adult and I watch Trump and I'm like, no way. No way.
All right. I need to take a break before we move on.
I mean,
I swear, man, that's what happens. I tried to take a bathroom break, spill water all over my agenda.
It's on camera. It's on film. You can see it happen.
I know. I'm about to put it in slow-mo. All right, that's how it goes, man. Can't have nice things.
Nope.
I should get angry, say all kinds of mad things because I can't deal with reality.
I would.
Nah. And so moving on from the politics, because like I said, it's early in the week.
Man, I would never have guessed before yesterday that Donald Trump talking ill about Rob Reiner was going to make me but was going to be the thing that was like made me want to cuss him out. Like I want to like you think of all the swear words you could say to him, man. That's where I'm at right now.
It really made me pretty mad.
Yeah.
It made me pretty mad too.
That's
You know what I'm saying? Because you know he's going to do something
back.
before Wednesday when we would have filmed our show. He's going to do something worse, and that's why I'm be like, see, we should have done a show on Wednesday because we would have had even more. But you know, it is. That's how it is every week. It's every time, every event. So moving on into some lighter stuff. Entertainment. Did you see the Supergirl trailer? If you haven't, you need to watch it.
I haven't seen it.
You didn't even watch Superman though.
No, but I watched I saw the clip of it of the Superman.
The end of it with her.
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, the movie kind of feeds off that.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I show it to my daughter. I'm always about like, female heroines and stuff. I want, because I have 3 daughters. So I'm always like, y'all need, buy in. And so I don't know. I'm curious. It comes out in June and it's looking good. It looks like they're going to try to keep this thing rolling. We'll see what happens once Disney owns or once Netflix owns all of it because they're buying Warner Brothers. But
man, Paramount or is it Paramount?
Trying to do a hostile takeover.
Yeah, man, coming in hot.
That doesn't go well. That's rare. I mean, the real trick is
Trying to save Hollywood.
The real trick is whether the government's going to let Netflix do it, which then starts to come down to Trump's opinion of whoever's involved, right? At least it seems that way.
Man.
But so coming up this weekend in sports and entertainment, we got Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. I'm gonna be at Oak Island with the family because it's my daughter's 6th birthday, and she just really likes traveling and going to like an Airbnb, and it makes her feel special. And it's Christmas coming up, we're not traveling, so we're like, let's go do this right before Christmas.
So that'd be nice.
Yeah, it should be right. And so I'm gonna watch the fight on Netflix by myself. I was hoping we'd be able to watch it, but whatever. I'm gonna be there.
I'll watch it.
And then we got Christmas coming up next week.
Yeah.
And on Christmas Eve, we got the second portion of Stranger Things season 5 coming on, which I'm really into.
Now you're into it.
You need to catch up on.
I'm gonna be honest. I've not watched a single episode.
You need to watch it. It is so good, dude.
Man, I heard, this is an aside, but I heard the
dudes are from Durham. How can you not support the Duffer Brothers?
I heard their theater teacher from Jordan High talking on the radio today, doing an interview on the radio today because she's in.
Yeah, she's in it. Yeah.
All of it seems so cool.
Yeah, it is. And when they'll be doing something, and they're like, "Oh, we picked up that strange signal by Irwin Road," and you're like, "Yeah."
I mean, she seemed so cool, man. She was talking about it. It made you think about everything that was good about teaching. Well,
they said that she was like a savior for them because I guess they were really awkward and sort of outcasts and didn't know what to do, and that she gave them direction. Look where they are now.
Well, and when she talks about them, she was like, when they came to me, they had all the talent in the world. I just gave them the space to let them shine. And
there you go. That's the beauty of teaching. Let me peel my wet agenda.
Wrecked.
Oh, this has been fun. You remember that game Overcooked? I think you've seen me play it where you have to.
I played Overcooked. I think we have Overcooked too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Overcooked 2. Yeah. I had played it with my older daughters, my 16-year-old, 19-year-old now when they were a little younger, and we enjoyed it, but they would eventually get really mad at me because I was I worked in kitchens, I worked in restaurants. Somebody has to tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the cycle.
You need a director.
So they couldn't take it. So of course, with my now 5-year-old who's turning 6 next week, I showed her the game. I was like, and she loved it. She was like, "Oh, we can cook." Yeah. And so I sort of, preface like, look, I'm saying, I'm telling you what to do. You're going to get emotional. You're going to get upset. You might want to quit, but that's what your bitch ass sisters did. Right. And you're better than them. Like me and you going to do this. There's a reason I had you.
You didn't frame it. You didn't frame it or anything.
I said biatch. And when I said it, they some biatches. Oh. And I was like, and so I want to make sure you understand that I know you're better than them. The reason I had you, the reason I made you is because they weren't good enough. And me and you are going to beat this game.
Man, I don't know if this is good parenting or not. I don't know if this is...
The gap between them is 10 years, right? More than 10 years between her and her next sister. And so I feel like it's fine. She'll get it someday. She'll be like, oh, that was pretty funny. Right. At least one of my
It's an inside joke.
At least one of my other children understands the way I come about things, right? And so, so we get to play in this game, man, and it's like that. It gets tense. She'll get upset. She'll go over the couch like, you yelling at me. And I'm like, look, if we're getting emotional, we can stop. I understand where you come from. I just need you to, put buns on plates, you know what I'm saying, or do this or do that, and we can work it out.
You got to do the dishes.
I'm like,
the dishes.
Yeah, I'm like, we can turn it off. And then she's like, no, we could do this. And man, we beat the entire Overcooked 2 main game. And her.
No way.
Like when we got to the final thing, we went through it like 3 or 4 times, and it wasn't even clear to me. I was like, we're just not getting it out fast enough or something, because score wise we were there, but then you would just go to like, oh, it didn't work. And we were there, and I had like a plate I was fixing service. She's like, I gotta use the bathroom, and I was like, well, just go because time's getting low anyway. I got this, and I'll pause it. I served that plate right as she was walking to the bathroom, and it was like, dun, dun, dun. You know, we won. I was waiting for her to come out of the bathroom. I was like, look. I was like, we freaking did it. Man, she was jumping up and down. It was the most excitement. She was so happy. She was telling her mother. She was like high-fiving me. So then I went and bought all the expansions. And now we're like,
like we're playing.
Yeah, we're going through the season pass. She freaking loves it, man. Anybody who hadn't played that game, if you got kids or you got...
Man, it's a fun game.
It is, but it can strain your relationships. But what's great is like in between it, when you go and talk to the Onion King who's like giving you directions, he says like cooperation, communication. Like the game knows that if you're not talking, then you ain't playing this game.
Well, the bigger you get, like we play as a whole family. So
then you have to score more points.
2 kids, yeah. Well, you have to score more points, but the communication between the 4 of you, oh man, it gets tense.
Oh yeah. And then there's finger pointing and blame.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty good about telling my daughter like that was my fault. I messed up. I make a mistake. We're starting over. You know, and she'll get mad.
I got one of my kids is always like, y'all did it wrong, and it's like.
You just blame everybody all the time. My mistake, I mean, it's an excuse, but it does happen. I'm watching her and trying to tell her now move here because she'll go and do something and then stop. And I'm like, if you're not moving, then we're not playing.
That's right.
I was like, because there's a clock ticking and something needs to be happening the whole time, you know. And so I'm getting on to her about that. And so sometimes I'm watching her and she does and she does what I told her to do, and I'm doing something, then I grab something, I mess around, drop it, or I double up on something. I'm like, God, dog it. And so I'm not saying it's her fault. It's my fault because I'm watching her and trying to keep her on task. But it's crazy that we did it.
It's hard.
It was so much fun.
Like we played through a lot. And then have to go back because you didn't get quite enough stars or whatever.
And you have to have enough to get to,
and you move forward.
And you have to get enough to get to level. So you go back, and then it's good to do one over and over because you get better at it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just do it and be like, oh, we didn't get 2 stars on this one. Let's move to another one. It's like, do that one again.
Ice boards. The ice board. I hate the ice board.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what I do like is hot dogs. There's something about getting the buns on the plate and putting the hot dogs in the bowl, or you can keep them rolling, but then they have a ketchup and mustard machine. This is on the expansion. Yeah. They have a ketchup and a mustard machine. You have to hit a button to switch it between ketchup and mustard. There's so much teamwork in that game. It's so much freaking fun. I go on and on about it. I wish I had video. I wish I had video of me and her playing it. Like some people would say that it comes across abusive. I mean, because I'm going at it.
You're into it.
And she's getting upset. But if you watch the whole thing, then you would see that there's a lot of love involved and there's so much cooperation. There's a lot of character building. And we freaking did it. That's all I can say. And we play it every day. So clearly she's not, down on it, but she's enjoying it.
Does she come home from school or wherever she's been and she'd be like, let's play Overcooked?
First thing when she gets home, and I'm like, I got work to do.
That's the best game ever.
I know. I'm like, I got work to do. Let me do this. But when we get to it, we're going to do it. And so on the weekends, especially, man, it's just been great. It's just been great. So right before I came down to get set up for the show, my wife and daughter, the same one, fixing to be 6-year-old, they were talking about some holiday book they read. Maybe other people know about this book. And my daughter's like, yeah, the Ninja Bread Man. And I don't know what it is about that. I didn't like it. It just didn't hit right. I mean, I grew up in the 80s. I'm all about ninjas. But Ninja Bread Man sounded, something about it sounded wrong, some kind of racist. I don't even know why. I was like, I just don't like this combo of words. Something about the syllables.
I can see where you're coming
Ninja
from.
Bread Man? I was like, don't say Ninja Bread Man. I was like, why does it sound so wrong to me?
That's a book though?
Yeah. Apparently it's a popular book, so it's not a bad thing.
Right.
But is it just me? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I try not to be too woke and too sensitive, but man, I hear something like that and I'd be like, well, hold up now. We ain't talking like that around here. And they're like, oh,
Maybe
yeah.
it is a syllable breakdown that you forgot. That
I don't know what it is. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. I'm curious if y'all got opinions, if you've read it, but you don't go around saying, I just didn't like the way it sounded. I don't want nobody to mishear you and think you said something bad. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, that's what I'm saying with the syllables.
But then at the same time, it doesn't even sound like, I don't know. It doesn't, but it does to me. I don't know. I just didn't like the way I was like, this ain't even, who made up this book? You know what I mean?
You're not reading that book.
No. I would not have let my children read it, but apparently it's popular. If I'd seen it on the bookshelf, I'd be like,
not that.
You ain't getting me. I ain't walking around saying that junk. But whatever. It just gives me a little shiver. Just something ain't right. I don't know. Every once in a while that happens, I guess. We don't talk like that. This is interesting. I want to tell you about this. So 2 nights ago, I ended up going to a good friend of mine's Christmas party that he has every year, he and his wife. And, wasn't planning on staying late, but a friend of ours named Pete, who we used to work with back in the day, who's always at the parties, he apparently, he plays a lot of Texas Hold'em, and like real money, like really doing it. And so my friends wanted to learn how to play poker, essentially. And I know how to play Texas Hold'em. So I was like, yeah, I'll sit back with y'all. So everybody else is gone. It's just the host and his wife and or the hosts, the two of them, and then me and Pete. And so we pull out some chips. We ain't playing for money. They had a game that had some chips. So we start setting up the game, trying to teach them how to play poker. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my friend was talking about some story where Pete had been in a robbery during a poker game. And I was like, how come I ain't never heard this, right? This is back like 2016, 17, something. So this dude starts telling me a story, man, where he's in a poker game playing Texas Hold'em in a house, got like 8-9 people at the table. It's $200-300 buy-in, something like that, right? So just to get in the game, you know what I'm saying? You're not...
That's kind of big time.
But the bets are 10, 5, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta make it go.
Your all in is $200 or $300.
Yeah.
And he said you might bring an extra 100 if you run out too quick and you want to stay in.
Yeah.
And he said all of a sudden, 2 people come busting the door with masks on. And at first, he said it didn't really strike him. He was like, what? And then they pull out guns and start being like, where the money at? And he's like, oh shit, we're being robbed up in here, up in this dude's house. And so the dude who's running the thing's like, man, the money's upstairs. Like all the money's together upstairs. We ain't got the money right here. It's all chips, you know? And he said these dudes weren't really prepared or very well organized. But he said as soon as they came in the door, there's a dude to his right that's from New York sitting next to him at the table. He said that dude was just like, who the hell they think they are coming here trying to rob me? Like he said, dudes just started like talking like that. And anyway, these dudes are telling them to do stuff. And they're like, well, take your wallets out. And he's like, so then they reach down. Everybody's like, no, put your hands back on the table. He's like, that kind of, you know, they weren't really. And he's like, dude. So he said, eventually, dude on the inside with the gun, he's got the guy to his right from New York, dude with the guns on the other side of him. And there's another dude coming in and out the door. And he said that all of a sudden, the dude next to him, the New York dude, reaches for the gun in the arm of the dude with the gun, starts wrestling with him. He said, now what really stood out to him was the fight or flight instinct. He said he saw that the door was cracked open. And he said he didn't even think, just his legs, his brain, just everything connected. Boom. He said he just leaned and shot out. As he goes running, he hears gunshot. Pow. He hits the door. He said he thinks there was a screen door and he's pretty sure he just bust that latch. And he said he hit the yard, saw another one of the robbers, looked him dead in the eye and just kept running, hit the street. So he didn't even know where he was going. He was just gone. But here's more gunshot. Pow, pow. All this. So apparently, New York dude to his right starts wrestling with dude for the gun. Points the gun up under the dude's chin. Bah, takes him out. Keeps the gun. Other dude comes in the door. Bah, takes him out.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? I was like, this went down.
House.
Exactly. He said, then when, police come, but he said, then they in there at the table and the New York dude's like, that's right. You don't mess with me, New York, bitch. Like it's talking trash. And then it's like, y'all should all put some money on the table. I saved y'all's lives. You know what I'm saying? Y'all owe me, So he was talking like that.
Yeah.
Like y'all ain't no real gangsters. Like I'm from New York. I was like, this really happened. He was like, yes. And man, I was like, you know how many people out there be fantasizing about what they gonna do? And I'm always down. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't nobody gonna do that like we were talking about the dude at Bondi Beach. You went and tackled.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you ain't gonna do nothing. It's not that easy. It's not that simple. This dude did it. I'm like, when people are like, I wish somebody would run up in here. That dude did wish somebody.
How gangster is he for real? Does it get more?
I know. Now I tried to show some concern for my homie. I was like, man, you traumatized, man? You losing sleep? He was like, man, honestly, no. He was like, because I didn't see. He was like, I don't remember seeing it if it did happen in front of me. He's like, all I know is my legs and my brain said, door, go. And he said he just bolted out. He was the only one that bolted out. Everybody else was still in the room for the whole event.
Now, as it plays out, though, you could do this and like really break it down. His bolting could have been the impetus, the distraction that the New York guy needed.
I don't know. I think he said he bolted because he saw him start to wrestle, and that was sort of like, I ain't here for that.
Yeah,
like this is getting too intense. But who knows?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he shot him as he was running out the door. Like man, I just thought that was wild because I always think about how people talk. Kind of like if I was in a situation, I'm doing is that dude was in the situation and did it, and started from the moment they came in the door. Was like, who the hell they think they are coming to rob me?
Yeah,
and then. Ooh. I was like, man, that's crazy, man. You ever heard nothing? I was like, what?
So the closest thing, similar instance, right? Our brother, principal.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard a story. I think it was mom was telling me this story, but he was at his high school or his elementary school, and he was
principal of elementary.
He was principal at elementary school, not the one he's at currently, but this is like 3 or 4 years back.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a report of somebody being outside the building, and he goes to check it out. For some reason, somebody says active shooter, and he tackles the dude right then and there, no thought, boom,
Just boom.
hit him. And when you know he gets up, they sort it all out. He was like, I think it was apparently a security guard.
Oh,
But yeah, so everybody's signals were crossed here. But at the moment,
he went into action.
He went into action. I was very proud of him, and that's kind of who he is. He doesn't think when stuff like that happens, he just
It's
hits
just
it.
his time to go.
Yeah, it's time to go, and he goes. And that's what he did. So everybody was very proud of him. But it was like one of those instances like you're talking about where it's like you tell yourself you're going to do something, but
You don't know. Yeah, you
But
just don't know.
that dude always does stuff like that.
That's right. And remember, the situation I'm talking about is, again, someone who didn't have a weapon.
Yeah.
Saving the day from people who had weapons.
Yeah.
So, take that for what it is, but that's a crazy story.
And from where our brother's mind at, he thought, oh boy, did have a weapon.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and you're putting your life on the line,
Yeah.
man. You wanted to go to save other people, man.
Yeah.
Although that New Yorker dude might not have been doing it to save other people. Sounds like he was saving himself and his money. He was like his pride.
saving his money.
His pride, too.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm New
I ain't
York.
getting robbed.
You ain't robbing
You
me.
ain't robbing me.
Man, but that was all I
Gangster.
had for my now wet agenda. You got anything else going on, man?
I think that's
what y'all
it,
doing
man.
for Christmas?
We're going to be around.
Y'all gonna stay around?
Mother-in-law coming to town.
Oh.
We're
She
excited
don't-
about that.
She don't watch the podcast, so we can do whatever we want to do with that. But that is not,
Yeah, excited about that. That'll be fun.
I'll end up seeing you around Christmas. You're like, I got to bust out the house, man. Got to come around.
I know. You know, we've been prepping for Christmas Eve. We're going to the Christmas Eve service this year.
My wife said we gonna go because she's a preschool teacher at a Methodist preschool. I ain't never been to a Methodist service in my life. You know, we're Episcopal.
Yep.
And I haven't been to church in I can't remember the last time.
Yeah, a minute.
And so now she's talking about we're gonna walk up in a Methodist. And I'm like, psh. I'm like, I don't even know what that looks like.
All right.
I'm guessing they don't do what we do, or else they wouldn't have a different name. But so I'm not looking forward to that at all.
No, man.
I'm not looking. I wouldn't even be looking forward to it if it was Episcopal, but at least I would know the rules and the routine. Instead, I'm being here with a bunch of strangers. You talk about showing up like a tourist.
Yeah.
I'm literally just going to show
Walk
up
in
on
there.
Christmas Eve and be like, guess we doing this.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to be prepared.
So apologies, I've been under the weather.
Yep.
But anyway, if we can't get nothing else out between now and then, I hope everybody has a happy and safe holiday.
Christmas.
Yeah, avoid going to church for the first time this year if you can. Just don't do it that way. That's not the way to do it.
You have to go for the whole month.
You have to go for at least a month ahead of time. You don't want to show up like that and be one of them like, now I care.
Yeah.
Because I don't like going at all. But anyway. But yeah, so that's all we had. And so hopefully we can get something else out if anything happens. But otherwise, hopefully nothing does happen. Hopefully the world
Just slow news cycle for the rest of the year will be okay.
Yeah, that would be nice. And then we'll catch everybody on the flip side and see how it's going. I'm guessing things won't be that different as of the start of 2026. But
Man, probably things won't be that different until about 2028, right?
I hope so. I mean, 2026, I guess it's going to start that midterm lead in. Everything's going to start to ramp up. So we'll see that coming.
I hope
I'm really looking.
We need a lot of. I tried to start the lame duck talk like right when he got elected.
Well, but you can't be a lame duck when everything you do is executive order.
This is facts.
I mean, it's not like this stuff is like approved or disapproved by Congress. It's just sort of stuck in limbo. So
Right.
we'll see how that goes. But hopefully there's a bit of a blue swell, a blue wave coming as we go through the year. But we'll find out.
Get them out.
Still got 3 more years essentially at this point. So I would not be that hopeful. I don't know.
Nah, and even if they go through, they'll try to do like procedural stuff where they're like vetoing bills and stuff like. But it's like you say, he'll just.
Well, they don't veto bills. They would just have to not pass it. And then if they pass it and he vetoes it, they're not going to have the kind of majority that would override a veto, though. But then the question is, what kind of bill are they going to pass?
And then what wouldn't he feel comfortable circumventing, even if procedurally they had done everything the right way?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? And
That's the scary part, right?
Without something very dramatic, I do not see an impeachment on the horizon because it feels like Democrats are very wary of how the impeachment stuff just doesn't feed into anything. Because if you're not actually going to succeed at removing from office, then you're wasting your time and potentially hurting yourself politically because it just looks bad.
Yeah.
At this point,
it'd be the third time you tried to.
Yeah, well, and it just feeds into a narrative is what it does politically. Politically, it just feeds into a narrative that you're out to get him, and even when you know it doesn't accomplish anything. And so it doesn't seem like Democrats are up on that. So I don't see that happening either. So we're stuck with this for 3 years. And I don't even think it matters with a Democrat majority, but I do like the idea of seeing that progress over, just like with the first Trump presidency, where it's like, remember, that's right. We don't like this. Right. And then hopefully it'll lead into the next presidential election. We'll see how it goes. But, we're still way early in the process.
Here's the hope.
Got a long ways to
We got to practice hope for the next 3 years. Just really practice
pragmatism and patience.
That's right.
Patience, not so much patience. Just because, even, whatever. Trump, there's only one, right? Surely there's only one of this dude.
No, it's got,
There's only one. It can't be this bad ever again. I can't imagine.
No.
But we shall see. All right. Hey, be good to yourself. Be good to everybody around you. Thank you for watching. Peace out, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Roman numeral 7, babe. Drop it like it. All right.